we'll probably just start messing with the machines.
Hello and welcome to the Tuesday night 7 p.m. East Twitch stream of Adventure Highway Sleuths in Waterdeep. My name is Blake Komar and I am the Dungeon Master for this channel, stream, and the evening. I'm excited after our couple week hiatus to come back with a full-length feature campaign. Some potential new characters, some interesting stuff might be going on. We're altering the format a little bit, but I don't shouldn't be talking about it. I should be showing you guys. And first, let's just jump into introducing our players. We've got starting to, I guess, my right or my left, directly next to me, we've got Brittany. Brittany, tell us about yourself and say hello.
Hi, I'm Brittany Rekma. I play the Battlesmith Artificer Zari with her trusty defender triple A.
Very nice. And above her, we have Kyle. Why don't you tell us about yourself and your character?
So I am Kyle Lawson, and my character is Brogan Naked Eye. I am a extremely successful, even if only in his own mind, private eye. So I offer my assistance whenever necessary.
Very nice. And next to him, above me, we have Nick, who's going to be playing a new character. Why don't you tell us about yourself and your new character?
Hey, everybody. My name is Nick. I'll be playing Steve Froman, the Barbarian, former meat counter worker turned D&D hero.
I'm stoked. And is that D&D hero in-game or D&D hero at the tables?
Oh, well, I think that's an AB combo, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, if you ask him, try and separate it. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right.
I love it. Well, with no further ado, we've got a ton of exciting content to cram right into this stream. Before we jump in, I will say hit up our YouTube, check out our Twitch, check out our Spotify. We're going to have more content coming out and more interesting stuff along the way, as always. So let us jump now into Waterdeep. A beautiful, as always, 70-degree, 76-degree day within this fantastic metropolis on the Sword Coast. This place is one of those places that it seems to never it's never too cold, never too warm, at least for you guys. As Monday morning happens and you all are walking from the watch house to work, you would find the weekend was another weekend where Sergeant Phil Structure had his kids in the house, where he had custody for the weekend, quote unquote. But you know who was the parent and you know who the children are at that point. So there was no sleep going on for any of you. He invited over also his lover, Clara, the woman who runs the orphanage, which does not bode well for you guys also because there's two things they do. They fuck and they fight. Over and over again, whether you want to tell them what's going on and what's wrong, you can never get halfway through a sentence because they're either fucking or fighting. Whether they're cooking dinner can never get fully cooked because they're either stopping dinner to go fuck or fight. This ad nauseum throughout the whole weekend. Add in some kids who are running around the house. No one got very much sleep on the walk to work. And as you're all walking to work, you would notice PM 207 is not around. It is just Brogan Naked Eye and Zari with AAA walking out of the house to work. You would not notice PM 207 anywhere for some reason. He seems to have been missing since Sunday. And now it being Monday, going to work, maybe you'll find some word. What would your walk to work look like, guys?
I think I would look over to Zari and probably say, much as I love Phil, at least his kids obey the pants rule. We have some win there because they certainly were not, as my room is next to his, and I got God, if PM doesn't mind, I might just bunk with him. I cannot be in the room next to theirs again.
Yeah. In all honesty, PM might have been the smart one skipping town. Skip town.
You know what? I half expect we're going to be walking down the sidewalk and he's going to be right back to doing his parking thing. Maybe he realized his true calling because he was so good at it is that he wants to go back and be number one again. Can't fault him for that. Those rats were awfully mean.
Yeah.
He's a sensitive big guy.
Well, he is. Or was. Who knows?
I guess it would be if he's now a parking. If he would still be is if he's a parking meter. I guess he wouldn't be past tense.
Well, he'd
So-
still be sentient. He'd just be really good, and he would print like sassy tickets.
Yeah.
Instead of like, hey, you're not supposed to park here. It would be like, if I were to double park, I'd get in trouble. So you have to get in trouble too. Equality.
Yeah. It would
He's like a parking maid and a parking meter at the same time. Like he can spit on the ticket, put it on your windshield for you.
mix in reading Rainbow. It's like a more you know. Like he's there for the morality aspect of the parking ticket so much more than the actual parking ticket. Like, hey,
Yeah.
parking here is the wrong thing to do. No one else can do it. Let's treat others the way we want ourselves to be treated. Is really what the parking ticket would say. How it would be confusing. Yeah, you wouldn't know if you're supposed to pay something or not. You're just literally staring at a morality lesson at that point. As you guys are walking down to the station, you see Sergeant Phil Structure sitting at his desk. Woodland Fontana is nowhere to be found still. She is no longer at her desk. You see papers piling up at his desk. And as you walk in, you see what would be a slightly balding, more round gentleman sitting in the lobby. And Nick, why don't you describe what Steve looks like?
So Steve is like a 5'7", incredibly out of shape, like dad, basically. He's bald in the center, and he's got like the hair on the sides. It's kind of bright red. He's got a handlebar mustache that he clearly takes care of. Like he grooms this thing. He probably has a pet name for it if you ask him. He's got like a little utility belt that looks kind of like he probably got it at the Home Depot. And it's got like what he's going to use as weapons, you're pretty sure. Like there's hammers and stuff. Like there's no sign of a tape measure anywhere. And he also has a giant battle axe, which still has like the thrift store tag on it. Like he he just got it for the situation because he thought he'd need it. And he's hunched over a desk as you guys come in, furiously filling out a W-2 and confused about the whole thing.
Fantastic. And as he's filling out a W-2, you guys walk up to the desk and Phil says, "Naked Eye, Zari, over here." And as he waves you on over.
Okay.
Says,
walk over, slightly less spirited than usual, as the bags under my eyes are visible from his desk.
I go 1 minute, go and grab a cup of coffee, then go over. I'll grab one for a Naked Eye too.
I totally don't hold up my jacket and pour anything in it.
As nothing splish splashes in your cup, clearly. You hear Structure say, "There's no time for that, guys. Look, this is an all hands on deck thing going on. We got going here. There's things are getting crunchy with magic. I think we've got another problem in the weave. You guys aware of any of this? You know what's been going on, or?"
Crunchy.
Oh.
Wait, you're not talking about hippies, are you? Really not a big hippie guy over here.
No, Brogan. If it was about hippies, me and you would be smacking some hippies. Believe me, I love you, and I'm so sorry I kept you up this week. But realistically, no hippies. We can't have that in this town. What's been going on? I don't know. They've been dealing with it at the Blackstaff Tower as of recent. All the mages are abuzz. You can imagine it sounds like a bunch of chickens clucking when they try to describe to me what's going on. All I know is something's gone really wrong, and we've got an all-hands-on-deck experience going on, which sucks because PM 207's been demoted back to parking meter. You probably saw him outside the house. If you guys had a car, you would see he's a parking meter now standing guard outside the watch house.
I bet he's killing it again. I got to make sure I say hi.
Oh, yes.
For sure.
Oh,
For
we can
sure.
do it.
He's really good at standing still, doing absolutely nothing. And then, you know, All of a sudden, someone puts a coin in and it turns the nozzle, and he does a great job of making sure that they're guaranteed for 30 minutes also. So, what a guy, realistically.
As there's like a natural break in the conversation, Steve is going to look up and say, "So, do I claim kids as a dependent if I pay child support on them to this lady, or what?"
Yeah. They're just answer C and get over here, Steve.
Steve, that's if you don't like the tax man. As I put up my quotes, I'm like, you do whatever you think is right, big guy.
Yeah, I'm not a communist. I don't like taxes. I'm going to keep filling it out.
And as you keep filling it out, Sergeant Phil says, he says, "Hey, look, just come to my desk and fill it out. Look, these two."
I'll grab my coffee cup and my W-2 and head over.
Very nice. And as you do, you're now walking with your coffee cup in hand, holding a piece of paperwork and trying to look at a desk. I almost want to say, give me a wisdom or an intelligence saving throw. But,
I'd love to. No, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Make me do wisdom. I dare you.
Yeah, give me a wisdom as you are trying to do well more than one or two things at once.
Why isn't it showing up on the thing? Oh no.
I don't know. What did it roll for you?
It didn't roll anything. It says Steve wisdom
J
save
wisdom.
roll.
What's your modifier?
-1.
-1. Just roll me a straight D20.
All right.
And we'll do a -1.
Yeah.
Here we go. Roll a 1. Show me that 0.
18.
Wow. As we roll an 18, you make it perfectly without tripping over anything or bumping into the desk or spilling the coffee all over yourself, which is
That caffeine's working today, boys.
Yeah, you're knocking this first day on the job out of the park.
I'm so proud of him.
We're off to a good start.
All things are coming up, Steve.
That's right. He gets near Brogan and Zari, who actually appear to be actual heroes in his chest. He puffs his chest out a little bit so he doesn't look quite so flabby, and sets his coffee down. He goes to give you both a firm handshake.
I will shake his hand, and as I do so, I will nod the pimp hat as well, and I will also take note. You know what, Phil? You're right. I should have noticed PM 207. He was wearing my hat covered in mayonnaise when we walked by. I don't know how I missed him. No one else has a mayonnaise stained pimp hat.
Look, Brogan, it's not your fault. It's his fault. Okay, I would never blame you.
I just miss that big goofy guy.
Yeah, well, we'll see him soon enough. Steve, this guy. I don't know much about him, to be honest. He actually did maintenance here, and we've just recently deputized him. When the mages said that there's been some interesting problems going on and that the weave has gone crunchy, they said all hands on deck, and he was standing in the room, and he kind of goes quietly to in between Zari and you, Brogan, and goes, "To be honest, I just didn't want to hurt his feelings. So when they said all hands on deck, and he started walking to fill out a piece of paperwork, I said, yeah, you got a job."
Hey, he might not be so bad. We'll figure it out. All right.
Yeah, maybe
It'll be okay,
maybe a pipe
Phil.
needs fixing. Like,
You know what? At worst case scenario, he can always fix the dryer at the house because for some reason it still randomly keeps breaking, and then Zari doesn't have to do it all the time.
Steve is going to overhear, look up and say, "Maytag, those will do that."
And Phil says, "Yeah, I don't get where I'm going to make my French toast if that dryer doesn't start working again." Anyway.
Brogan will actually let out a small shriek. He's like, "Oh, Phil, buddy, I'm gonna have to show you this really cool place I know about. It's called Bunches of Brunches. It's a really great thing. I hear it is a little hipstery with the crunchy kids, but you can go there and they make breakfast right in front of you, and you get to drink unlimited for 10 gold for the whole day."
Is it like a hibachi, Benihana kind of thing? I really like that.
Sort of, except we're not involved. They just make it in front of us, and we could take a few notes and knock a few back.
I like the open concept. You can tell we went for the open concept in the office here. I like the open kitchen.
Yeah. It might be a good idea. I will turn around a little bit quietly and say, Well, Steve, it looks like you're joining us. Why don't you come over here? And as he does, he will probably, without fail, notice me pouring more stuff into my coffee out of my flask. This is about to
Steve
be a day.
awkwardly goes to shake everyone's hand again. He doesn't know what else to do in this situation.
I will slap Steve on the shoulder. Steve, it's fine. It's fine. You introduce yourself. You're Steve. We're good.
And when you hit him, you realize just how soft he is. Like he's actually like more beanbag chair than guy. Like your hand sinks in, it like knocks him off balance a little bit, and you hear like the tools rattle in his belt a little bit.
As you slap into Steve, Sergeant Phil says, "Well, now that everything's all well and good, well, now I don't have anything for you to do with what's been going on with the mages. To be honest, again, when they start talking, it's like cluck 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 cluck. I don't get them. But for what I'm dealing with here, we got reports that people are juicing at this gym with something arcane. We don't know really what's been going on over there, but we need someone to go start asking some questions, get to the bottom of this."
Well, don't worry. I'm a bit of a natty daddy myself, and Brogan will flex. I can spot him.
Yeah, I remember back in the day. Oh, those muscles. They were something. Oh, wow. He used to, yeah, like an Adonis. Those were the days, huh?
I'll look over at AAA and I'll be like, "Don't worry. I'm sure you're better than most people at all this stuff."
As
Roy
he
just
says,
nods.
he says, "You got to go down to the Iron and Fire gym, speak with the owner, and see what he knows. We got reports from anonymous folks, so try not to spook them to what's been going on, and maybe we can get to the bottom of this investigation."
All right. Well, maybe we can do some undercover work and pose as new people joining the gym.
Fantastic. I see. I love it. I love it. Steve, you can learn from this guy.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to learn from him. I too am a little bit of a natty daddy, and I'll go to like flex and then like just, and I'll not. I'll think better of it.
I look over at Zari when that goes to happen to just check on the eye roll and make sure they're still in their head.
What that means? None of this makes sense to me. Ari has
Don't
no
worry.
idea what a gym is or the concept of a gym.
Don't worry, I speak gym bro. All you have to do is grunt whenever you're confused, and they'll take it as everything's okay. It's like your get out of jail free card, guys. Whenever someone at the gym asks you a question you don't know, just grunt at them. And then if you're really, really in trouble, if you can squeak out a fart, they'll laugh and you're good to go. Everything's fixed.
Perfect.
Grunt and fart. 2 gym gems. That we've just
The Tim Allen School of Language.
Yeah, for sure. Gym gems, as we'll call them. As
every time Brogan gives one out, like a little prestidigitation of Jim Gems, like in a reading
Gems.
rainbow style, goes over, comes
Jim
over his head.
As Sergeant Phil looks at you all and says, "Well, seems like everyone's in working order. I'm gonna get back to figuring out what's going on with this mage business that's been happening. But from what you guys got going on, report back to me when you figure out what's been happening. Other than that, take good care of Steve. Make sure he doesn't die. And Steve, if you see anything that needs fixing, we can use the reputation with the Waterdeep police force. If you do some help, never hurts to help. Lend a hand."
I'm going to do my best, Chief. I want to thank you again for this opportunity. I know I probably wasn't your first choice, more like your only choice, but I appreciate it all the same.
Oh, you did yeah. I feel exactly the same way that you do about. I'm sorry, Steve. I wasn't listening. I got something to do, guys. Can you head on out of here?
Brogan's gonna take a swig and be like, "All right, guys, I think we're all set." I'm gonna top off my not mixed drink with coffee before we finish heading over.
And as you top off your quote unquote coffee, there's got to be a point where there's more liquor than coffee and it's no longer considered a coffee, I guess. If someone was to realistically look at it, like, I guess there's got to be a point where Yeah, it becomes maybe a schnapps or a mixed drink. Like,
Hey man, the coffee is just there because Brogan knows he's got to stay at least a little bit level.
yeah, both are for the shakes, oddly enough. So, like, both cure the shakes. um,
So as we kind of start walking away from Phil, I'm going to be like, look, I think the best thing to do is to sign up at the gym. Maybe we can get ourselves a trainer. You know, each a different one or all the same one, and because the trainers know everyone at the gym, and I think that would be a good place to start.
Sure, I
Oh,
think
we are.
that's a great idea. I could use to get back into the gym. You know what I mean? I'm gonna start like shadow boxing at Brogan, and then realize that that's probably also not a great idea.
Ever to get out of that subscription though, or that membership, it won't take forever. That's the one thing I've heard about gyms. It takes forever to get out of your membership.
Oh, it's basically impossible. If you're there, they usually make you do like a year thing, and then they do like an enrollment fee, and then they make up a bunch of other stuff because gym people aren't nerds and they don't do the math. I mean, it's a whole thing. I'm not good at math either. It's not really important. I'm sure the police station will cover it. Right, Phil? And I'll kind of like say as we're walking out and give him a thumbs up. Like, we're all set with the memberships. You got us?
yeah, yeah, sure, sure. Just solve the crime. Come, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, see, everything's fine, Zari. Don't worry about it. We got this. We got this.
Okay.
As you walk out of the South Ward towards the north, towards the Iron and Fire Gym, you find you walk up to it, and there is a large. I guess it's a difference between a barbell and a dumbbell. Barbell would be long bar. Dumbbell would be smaller weight,
Yep.
I believe. Yeah. So you see a large barbell that is bent partly, with two like orcish hands holding onto it, above the entrance, and it says "Fire" or "Iron and Fire Gym." Only the strong survive. And you see the entrance underneath it.
Steve is gonna sit underneath and stare at the sign for a little bit, and he's like hot footing a little bit. You can tell he doesn't actually want to go into this place.
I'll look over at Zari and be like, you know, with AAA being mechanical, I don't know if he'll get much out of the training piece, but there are going to be a lot of Smith machines and stuff in there that he can go and play around with and take apart.
True. So that's AAA can mess with.
Perfect. I open the door with a pimp coats full of confidence.
As you open the door with a pimp coat full of confidence, you look and you immediately see there are some like running machines, not necessarily treadmills. First there's a front desk right in front of you with a pixie floating around right next to it, behind the desk. And you look a little further on down past, and you immediately see some kind of like conveyor belt style running machines, but they all seem to be linked up to one long conveyor belt with people running on it, where it stretches probably 60 feet. Is like it seems like a bunch of, almost like in our world what would be treadmills, linked together into one long conveyor belt about 60 feet, with about 4 or 5 people just running on this one long conveyor belt together at the same time. You look right next to it and you see a hamster wheel that someone is literally running through at the moment, and they just keep moving and it keeps spinning it right now, which is actually powering part of this long treadmill. As you see, like, there are bands coming down off the back wall. And if you look to the far left of as you're entering in, you would see all of the benches, the weights, while you see a bunch of like, there's buff dudes, there's women who are in great shape, there's people of all shapes and sizes all working out in this place. This seems to be one of the spots. But as you're looking around further to like the left area, you start to see more and more, like, as you're noticing, people are a lot more ripped at this gym than most places you've seen. It could be you're not in gyms often, or it could be that this place is a lot more ripped. And as you walk up to the counter, you see a pixie who looks at you and says, "Membership."
Yeah, so the three of us here, we're actually, okay, the two of us here, as I see Zari shaking her head no, and I point at Steve, we're actually looking to sign up and see what you guys got.
And
Catch you.
Steve has his gut sucked so far in. He's gonna be like, yeah. He's gonna like try to talk, but he actually can't move his diaphragm much to talk because he's so sucked in.
And you hear in a very Long Island style Jersey accent. This pixie has big hair, kind of hoop earrings. She's chewing gum, and she says, "Yeah, everyone's a work in progress, doll. Fill these out real quick," and hands over 2 paperwork with a quill and ink.
As I start filling it out, I'm like, why does it also include death and dismemberment as an option for not using machines right? Has that ever happened?
This is fire and ice, Jim, where only the strong survive.
Okay. Go ahead and make my mark. Sounds good. Does the membership include a locker? I can't have this fancy coat out and about now.
Yeah, just you got to provide your own lock.
Fair enough.
No arcane locks, though. We don't allow arcane locks just in case you don't come back and you put an arcane lock on your on your locker. We've had problems in the past where we've had glyphs of warding on there, and then we went to go cut it, and a fireball goes off.
Fair enough. Quick question for you. You guys got any apparel?
Apparel? Yeah. And she looks back, and you see she has a box of shirts that she pulls out from underneath the desk. And as she pulls them through, they're still wrapped in plastic. She goes, "So you look like a large or a medium," and then looks over at Steve and says, "You look like a I don't want to be offensive."
I'm gonna pantomime like 2XL.
2XL, fantastic, sweetie. Yeah, are you? I mean, if you guys are signing up, you all get a free T-shirt anyway. How about you and your dog?
I'm here to fix the machines. I'm not here for a membership.
You're here. Isn't that nice of you? Yeah, fantastic. Well, and you brought your little puppy too, and she goes to pet it, and it goes tink 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 on the metal dog, and she goes, "Oh, isn't that nice? Is this a therapy dog?"
Yes. Yes, I have a note and everything.
Fantastic. Well, you all are in. Enjoy the gym, and your first month is free. After that, it's going to be 20 gold a month.
Oof. Steve,
Jeez.
okay. Quick question. Do we get any training sessions? I was hoping to get started off right. Have someone show us the ropes.
I'll tell you what, the owner's in right now if you'd like.
Oh, I would love that. That would be great. Please and thank you.
Yeah, he can come over and give you some pointers.
I'm gonna look at Brogan and say, you know what? I think I know my way around the gym, but I appreciate it, big guy. But I'm gonna go off into the gym and start doing my own thing.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Go get him, Steve. I'll say. And
Steve has put the shirt on, and it's very, very tight around the chest and gut, but there's like so much extra sleeve left. It's not funny.
I'm gonna lean over at the pixie and be like, I swear to God, he's my cousin's husband. I try to take care of him, but if he does anything dumb, just please let me know. I'm trying my best here.
Well, yeah, for sure. And if we have our own security here, if you look around, you'll see the big, beefy dudes. We like to police our own, if you know what I mean.
I sort of like squint my eyes at her. I'm like, there's a lot of big, beefy dudes. What is it, everybody?
All of them.
All right. Okay. Fair enough. I'll kind of say while I chuckle a little, and I'm like, all right, which one's the owner over there? Okay, heading that way.
Yep. And as she points to him, she goes, "No, the guy over there." And you see a guy balding, a large, about 7 foot tall orc, balding on the top, ponytail in the back, has a red tank top on that is tucked into what would be bike shorts that come down to what would be ankle wrapped bare feet. As he is standing helping someone curl someone's benching, and he's curling the bench above him, clearly doing the heavy lifting while this person cannot bench press this weight. And he's yelling in his face, just like almost army drill sergeant style, like, "You got this, you're better than you think you are, only gains, only fucking gains."
That's what I'm talking about. I walk over and I'm like, hey, just signed up for the gym, was just hoping to grab a little FaceTime. Obviously, your wonderful desk attendant told me you were the best trainer. I don't mean to pull you away, but how many sets you got left? And I'll look at the struggling guy.
He goes, I got 3 more. 3 more.
You got as many as he tells you got. You understand me?
Yeah.
And I'll kind of join in with yelling at him.
Yes, sir. And you see this orc smile so much. And he pats you on the back. He's like, that's right, you only have what I tell you. Listen to this man.
It's one more. You know how many you got? It's always one more. It never stops.
Last rep for now until next rep. And he goes and pushes as hard as he can. And you see this gnome literally lifting what a Goliath should be lifting, but it's actually you can tell it's the orc lifting it. And he finally lifts, and you see his elbows the bar gets put back on the rest, and his elbows are wiggling, and he gets up with lanky arms and a tank top that's hanging down to his knees, this little gnome, and he just starts breathing heavy. And the orc looks over and says, "What's your name?"
Oh, I'm Brogan Naked Eye. I was just hoping to get in on a part of this gym. I've been neglecting physical training a little bit because I've been bogged down with work. You know what happens. You get old, you start pretending there are other priorities, but this is the only priority: physical perfection.
It's the only thing that lasts forever, my man. Physical perfection. Slaps you on the shoulder. And he says, well, my name is Thor. Good to meet you.
Well, Thor, thank you very much. Yeah, I was hoping to just get into the full body. I'm really thinking I want to raise my big three, you know, squat, bench, and deadlift. All the essentials to being a power lifter. I'm not really worried about that cardio shenanigans. That's for nerds.
Yeah, cardio's for suckers. Look, here's what I can tell you. We have all of the basic equipment you need. We have everything that would that could, you know, for quads, squats, delts, lats, and he starts going through every muscle group, and he just keeps listing them: tricep, bicep, quad, and he starts even repeating things, and he just keeps going on listing every single muscle group. He's like, we got it all, and he's like delts, and he keeps going, and he's like, and as he keeps going, he's like, yeah, anything else I can help you with? I mean, you seem like you know what's going on.
I know a little bit about a couple things, but I'm not going to pretend I'm the biggest guy in the gym. What I'm really hoping is to find my edge, if you know what I mean. I'm looking to raise my level, kind of raise the bar. You feel me?
Give me a what do you think? A deception or persuasion?
I mean, deception works, persuasion works. You could even almost try performance because Brogan as a character isn't an actual lifter.
I like it.
So let's go with performance.
Yeah, I like it.
How do we do?
5.
Oh,
what does
boy.
a 5 look like in failure?
So as I'm really just looking to, you know, be as strong as I can be, because, you know, being strong is important. Strong. You know, that thing where you're not weak, being strong. You know, like the strongest of strong, not weak.
Thor looks at you and says, yo, man, you got to tone it down a little bit. Like, you just got to just dial it back. Just a tiny bit.
I'll lean in and I'll be like, and I'm sure he can smell the booze on me. I'm like, look, I'm really trying to kind of replace one habit with another, if you know what I'm saying. So I'm trying to go 100% here.
Jesus Christ, man, you smell like a gin mill.
Yeah, that's the huge. So any who's and what's it? Do you got a powerlifting space where I can go and get started? I think I'm gonna do some deadlifts.
100%. Yeah, and he points you towards a corner where you would see that there is a band machine that is slightly broken. And Zari, you would have noticed that this was a broken machine, just being an artificer right away. Would you have already gone towards that machine, kind of scoping out the room?
Yes, I've gone to the broken machine while looking for anything.
Sure, and give me a perception as you're over there. And this is before Brogan walks over, so you can see that Brogan's talking to like an orc that's the owner, and Steve would have already been walking through, and we'll find. So Zari, by the time you get to the machine, you see that Brogan is putting on a performance, yelling at some dude, and a gnome on a bench press right now. As you're looking, and he's just yelling in his face. You also see that Steve is walking into a gym, and as he's looking over to one side, you see him bump into a machine on the other, kind of a thing. And as he looks to another, he bumps in, you know what I mean, kind of a thing. Slightly
Mhm.
klutzy as he's moving through. But one thing you also notice is a bunch of grouped up, almost there. You see them grouped up. It's a, you see that there's a bugbear and there seems to be two other kinds of almost like a dragon-ish style guy sitting there talking to a bugbear. And then you also see what would be almost like a gnoll talking to this bugbear. And they all seem to be passing something between each other in the corner, like by the heavy gains area of the gym. And you see them passing something to each other, kind of a thing.
Okay. I command not Bixley. Why am I thinking Bixley? I command AAA to do repair on the broken machine that I'm at. Then I'll make my way over to them to see if I can find a broken machine. Just pass them and see what they're passing.
Near them. You don't necessarily find a broken machine, but do you want to see if you can act like a machine near them is broken?
Yes.
Okay. Give me a performance to see what it looks like as you're acting like a machine near them is broken.
Better performance than Brogan.
A 15. You literally walk up to a weight bench and you take out a hammer and start hitting the bar, like just start smacking on the bar, taking a. Well, you tell me what a 15 looks like. Why am I telling you?
I don't know. Story is just basically taking out a screwdriver and tying bolts, wrenches, and screws, and tightening down screws and bolts to make sure everything is in place because you don't want to flip over. All that fun stuff.
Very
And she's
nice.
going to try to overhear what they're talking about and what they're passing while she's doing it.
And with your 21 perception, you're picking up on the fact that they're passing around some kind of purple arcane dust. Um, and what they're talking about, their conversation revolves around like, "Hey, buddy, you know, blah blah blah. I was working at a, wait, let me. I was doing lifts the other day, and you should have seen this weakling walk in the bar. Yeah, I'll never be that weak. Only gains." Slaps him on the shoulder. They do what would be a predator handshake and then pass off the powder to the next guy. As you can see, they start rubbing it in their mouth. And as they start rubbing it in their mouth, they start like making their mouth noises. And all of a sudden, you can see that the whites of their eyes have slightly purple, almost veins in them at that point that you're kind of noticing.
Okay.
Yes, it's smelling salts for the big lifters, of course.
These guys.
Okay. As I see that, I see if I can get anyone's attention of
From the
my
group?
two. Yeah.
Okay. And we're going to move over to Steve. Steve, as you walked into the gym, so you walked in, just kind of bumping around. What would you be up to as you notice over that Brogan is yelling in some guy's face and that Zari is walking over to a machine and starts fixing it?
So Steve, being the single guy about town that he is, sees two very shapely, athletic women on either side of this stanchion, and he decides, I'm going to use that station there. So he goes in. He's got a resistance band, and he's got the lightest one. It's like a little thin pink one, but he's trying to like puff out his chest and make it look like he's doing something good, trying to get these girls' attention. And then like he's so uncoordinated that eventually, like as Brogan watches him just kind of making an ass out of himself, he manages to like get it twisted around his elbow, and then it's around his neck, and suddenly like his arm is like banded to the side of his head, and he can't get out, and he's like waving for Brogan to come over to help because it's starting to cut the circulation off to his arm.
Brogan does notice. He walks over, and in complete disarray, as he kind of like sort of covers his eyes, he looks over at the pixie and he's like, and like points at Steve as he unravels him.
Yeah,
he's like,
as
"Steve,
you're
Steve."
unraveling it, Steve is in complete denial. He's gonna be like, "No, this is like an exercise we do around here, man. Like, it's weird that you don't even know about it." And like, he's trying to like subtly free himself.
Steve, it
Well,
looks like the best exercise. I'm gonna go do some deadlifts over there by the big guys and by Zari.
you need me to back you up?
Uh, you know what? I was really just hoping for a spot. So
Okay, I
you
can
know,
do that.
you
I'll
look
puff
like
myself
you
back
really
up.
know what you're doing. So I figured you
right.
could spot me. You know, if you don't mind the help.
I know my way around the gym, and I'm like walking around like full watermelon salesman, like invisible lat syndrome.
Straight ILS. Yep.
Yeah,
Invisible lat syndrome.
just
There it is.
full on. I've got 2 briefcases.
As those two women, shapely women, by the way, are disgusted at what they had just seen.
Of course they
just
are.
disgusted
That's my
by
net.
what they had just seen.
Well, joke's
Literally
on them
disgusted.
because I'm pretty sure I smelled Steve crop dust as well. So, and we're going to the other end of the gym.
That could be why they're disgusted too.
It
Could
could
very
be.
well be what that look on their
Hey,
face means.
Steve started to panic when the band got tight. Okay, I don't know what to tell you.
He's a
Yeah.
man about town, you know.
As you go over to where over to the deadlift area, you see Zari. And roll a perception, the both of you, as you walk over. And
Okay.
so we've got Brogan's. Brogan rolls a 14.
Yeah,
I don't
my
know
rolls
why
aren't
it's
working.
not rolling your rolls.
I got a 13.
A 13, fantastic.
Yep.
So a 13, a 14, and a 21 essentially. The 13 is not picking up on what's going on. The 14, it would have had to have been a 15 or higher to pick up on what's going on with these guys because they're trying to be slightly secretive, even though they're really not good at it, especially if a 15 picks it up. But Zari definitely picked up on it. What you guys are picking up on with a 13 and a 14 and a 21 is outside of the gym, there is a large window, kind of. This is on like the side street. Like when you walked up, you wouldn't have seen this window. This would be kind of towards the, caddy corner to where you had walked in on a 90-degree angle. You see that it's middle of the day, but it's getting exceptionally darker outside. Like it's just starting to all of a sudden get blacking outly darker. Like it's almost all of a sudden middle of the day, but nighttime is starting to happen, kind of an idea.
That's not
Middle of
good.
the day, and you start to see people slightly running.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh man, I thought this was for the ambiance for pictures because the best lighting is obviously in dusk where you can really show off those gains.
100%.
Oh man.
And you hear the guys in the corner actually heard you say that, and they say, "Yeah, it's dusklight. I never knew that. Next time I'm on a fast, go to take pictures. I'll end it at dusk."
You got to do a post pump, bro, where you're really veiny and killing it, where you're vascular, where you're looking big.
Yeah, veiny. I'm gonna point at Brogan. Yeah.
And you hear him go, "Ugh." And you hear all three of them just start grunting at each other. Ugh.
Yeah, I walk
yeah.
up. I walk up and I throw a grunt and I go for a high five. Like, absolutely, bro.
They go. One of them high fives you, and then the other one goes after you high five to almost hit you back on the Maverick style flip side on the underslap.
Do I catch it?
I don't know. It's up to you. Do you want to try?
Oh my god, I'm gonna try to do acrobatics to see if I'm quick enough to catch it.
Go to catch
Let's
it.
see if I'm.
But to be
Let's
a
see
gym
if I
hero.
catch that.
You
I got an 8.
do not catch it. And this Knoll walks over to you and goes, "Hey, my name is Ice. What's yours?"
I'm Brogan, and I will tap my chest, which with a 16 strength isn't like the biggest, but like I'm not totally new to the gym.
No, yeah, exactly. Like when you're younger years with Sergeant Phil, you guys were definitely gym buddies.
I got what's known as old man strength.
Yeah.
Muscle fibers and all that stuff. They're like, why does that really out of shape guy still be able to lift weight? It's like, because I used to. Your muscles don't forget.
Yeah, they know exactly what to do. That old man strength, another gym gem being dropped. As as these gentlemen are like, "Hey, we saw that you missed that on the flip side. Hey, you seem like you know what's been going on around here. You interested in some possible fun? Something that could enhance your gains?"
Are you talking about taking it to the next level? Because I'm all about getting big.
Yeah, well, we had this sorcerer who helped us out every now and then. He made this thing, arcanum powder. You mix it in with some water, maybe even rub it in your teeth. It's it's like it just produces hormones in your body that just attack your muscles and make them bigger. If you think that, breaking your muscles while lifting is big, can you imagine many little pieces of arcane dust attacking those muscles at all times?
I'm gonna lean over to Brogan and be like, I don't know. It sounds like a weird sex thing.
I'm gonna, I'm gonna pat Steve on the back and be like,
On his soft back.
yeah, and I'm gonna be like, you know what? I think that's probably why only one of us should do it, so it's not too weird.
All right, I don't want to though.
Yeah. Oh. You know what? I was thinking because you were already such a gym savant. You know, I would do that because you're already so
That
cultured
makes
in what it
sense.
means.
That makes
to
good
be
sense,
buff.
though. That makes good sense.
I will say that and then kind of turn away from him just slightly enough to roll my eyes at the knoll and the bugbear and everyone else and just, yeah. And then I'll kind of lean in and be like, it's my cousin's husband. He's a nice kid, but he's not quite, you know what I mean? He doesn't have a full mug of beer, if you know what I'm saying.
That makes sense. That makes sense. This is a good place for him. Build some muscle, gain some strength. It's when you build your muscle, you build your mind.
Yeah, I was hoping to kind of, get on get on that with him because that's sort of just how that goes. But anywho, weird sex stuff aside, and I will aggressively wink and thumbs up at Steve.
I got my cup of coffee, and I suddenly give you the head nod. Like
it almost looks like
sip my coffee.
I'm blinking because I can't really wink the right way because how aggressively I'm doing it. Yeah. So I'll kind of lean into the guys and I'll be like, so what are you thinking? No, you guys got like a hookup? How does it work?
Well, here, I can just give you a taste if you want. You can just rub some of it in your mouth and watch. It'll just start attacking your tongue. Get a strong tongue.
If you don't mind, I do, but as a dragonborn, a green one, my acid kind of melts most stuff. Could you put it in the shaker cup so I can mix it so that way it doesn't just dissolve in my mouth,
Oh, 100%. Yeah, you can mix it with anything. Here, let me put it in your coffee.
As he's doing that,
that's totally 100% coffee and nothing else.
I'm gonna walk over
look
to
over
Zari
at the stone that watches us, and I'm like, this is totally only coffee.
I'm gonna walk over to Zari, and Steve is gonna lean in and be like, I think we need to keep an eye. Brogan's gonna do a weird sex thing with these guys.
I heard everything. And as she still works on everything, she's just whispering that to him.
It's almost like, are you starting to get more and more intent on fixing this thing that doesn't need fixing?
Yes.
Is this becoming a real fix
job?
job?
I probably just broke it. Make life easier.
Steve is gonna sip his coffee behind Zari and just like mansplain and give her unhelpful advice on how to fix it while she's working.
It's like that stereotypical bench where like the only thing wrong with it is the two rubber things at the bottom, which cause it to slide around, are gone. But instead, Zari's like, I'm gonna bolt the whole thing to the floor, and then it's not gonna go anywhere. You're just like drilling into this floor aggressively.
As they say, they put it in your coffee. They say, hey, take a sip.
Barry's going to give a signal to AAA to run through the group.
Oh, as you're doing that, I'm super excited because I know it's definitely coffee, quote unquote. I go to take a big sip.
You take a big sip. AAA is running through the group. Is AAA instructed to do anything interesting as he's going to take a big sip?
Knock someone down. Run behind someone's leg and just like run. You know how dogs sometimes run under people's legs and knock them right.
There's three people in that corner, and then you add Brogan. That's four. You want me to roll to see who he's running at?
Yeah, let's just roll for it.
Out of the four, 3, 1, 2, 3. Brogan was the fourth. He rolls at the bugbear named Hawk. So as he runs at the bugbear named Hawk, he goes to hit him behind the legs. Give me an attack roll with AAA.
17 plus.
It's gonna hit as all of a sudden it knocks him to the ground as he falls backwards. Brogan, you take a giant swig, and all of a sudden you hear a giant shrieking, "Ah!" A female voice shrieking and yelling as you look out the window again and see more people running.
Well, I'm gonna. First thing I'm gonna do is, because obviously I notice it's AAA. I'm gonna be like, buddy, what's going on? What's going on? Are you all right? And I'll like kneel down like he's a normal fluffy dog, and I'll be like, what happened? And I'll go to pet him. I'll be like, they weren't doing nothing to me. You know, they're my friends, and I'll very much speak like he's a normal dog. Because in my mind, I think I'm being real sneaky as Brogan, trying to not give away that he's like an intelligent, like much smarter than everyone in the gym dog. So I'm like, what's going on, buddy? And you know, maybe he picks up on it, or maybe he, you know, piddles oil on me. I don't know, but
What would AAA be doing at that point?
AAA. Is anyone holding anything?
What was that?
Is anyone holding anything?
just my
One of
coffee
them,
mug.
there was the Knoll who was holding the powder at that point. The bugbear got knocked
Oh,
over, and the
AAA's gonna
Knoll
try to
was
grab
holding it.
Well, AAA's going to try to grab it and run.
Give a, I would say another attack roll, and I need a Constitution saving throw from Brogan.
Well, that's rude.
Right, and it's plus my spell modifier to hit.
A 14.
Yep.
You're actually doing fine on this. What's your spell modifier?
Plus 5, so
8, 9, 10, 11, 12. A 12. Gotcha. A 12 is not going. Wait, let me see real quick. You needed a 13 to be able to try and get. Well, let me give this Knoll try to give a strength against, because you might end up being inside of a tug of war. Let me just.
Oh, yeah. The roided out Noel, I'm sure, is going to lose the tug of war. That is a thing.
You know what? He just rolls a 4.
He does
Right.
lose.
He does lose as AAA grabs the bag of purple powder out of his hand. Brogan, you all of a sudden, while you're talking to AAA's face right before he goes to grab it, it starts moving in and out. Like all of a sudden, his eyes grow really big and then right back into place. You see his teeth become large maw and then go right back into being regular teeth. And then everything seems to level out. And now for the next hour, you have a +2 to your strength. But
Oh.
you have a -2 to your intelligence.
No one needs that. Nerds.
Yeah, take that, nerds. Anyway, I will need everyone to roll into initiative. And as you see, they are now getting very, very angry. That this was just taken out of their hand. You also see it's gotten darker and darker. I put your tokens on this map, by the way, so you can roll in, and I will actually, if you want, add you in.
Oh, I was gonna say my first roll was bad, so to not be a cheater, I will keep it. I am a 4.15.
I
didn't see the token edition,
10.14
my bad.
initially.
Okay, so what was yours, Zari?
10.14.
It was 10.14. Sorry, I kept missing the 10 part.
The names are Ice Hawk and Bronco.
Hell yeah.
I wish I had met Bronco. He sounds like such a cool guy.
He really does. So we got Steve. What was your roll? It was a 3 plus
3 plus 1, so it's a 4. 4.13.
And then Brogan, what was yours?
4.15. I rolled a solid 2. I was real excited about it.
Very nice. As the bugbear had witnessed, now we are in initiative order. The bugbear, Hawk, had witnessed what just happened with Ice, his buddy. and says, "What the hell? Ice, how'd you let that dog do that?" Goes and runs up after. Now we can say what? Like, Brogan, you're probably what, about 5-6 feet away from these guys?
Well, I was talking to them and we high five, so I'm probably like 3 or 4 feet.
Gotcha.
But I was kneeling down next to AAA after he hit him, so I'm actually probably within a couple of feet. Because initially, when that happened, my response was, "Oh, why would you do that?" Blah blah blah. Because I was trying to play it off. Obviously, my other performance was as good as my first one, and AAA didn't notice because I'm such a good performer that it's just miles beyond what anyone else could comprehend.
Oh, for sure. So yeah, you're pretty close. You'll be within 5. We'll say you're 5 feet. Zari, you're about what, like 25, 30 feet from them?
Yeah, 25, 30.
That puts AAA, I would say, about 10 feet away, on the other side of Brogan now, as he's running away. And Steve, that would put you what? Probably about, you're behind Brogan, so that would put you about
Like
10 feet
15?
from them.
I walked over to Zari. Don't
Oh,
forget.
you walked
So
over to
I'm
Zari, so you're also
yeah.
about 30 feet away.
Yep. That sounds
Awesome.
good.
Awesome. And as you see it, Hawk is going to, he was the one who was actually closest to you, Brogan, and he is going to run after, he's now going to move himself in between you and AAA and go to attack at AAA. And as he does, he is going to slam down with a Morning Star that you don't not know where he pulled it out of. It just
Oh,
appeared
where's it
somewhere. He
going,
was
buddy?
wearing bike shorts and a tank top. But where he kept that Morning Star, you do not know. And
Wait,
AAA's
who was that?
AC,
You said that was Bronco or Thor?
15. He
that
hits.
was Hawk.
Oh, Hawk. Okay.
Hawk the Bugbear. Yeah, it's Hawk the Bugbear, Ice the Knoll, and Bronco the Draconic Foot Soldier.
Okay.
15 hits.
And I'm sorry, Zari, what was it?
15. It
15,
hits.
so it hits for 12 piercing damage as this mace comes down on AAA. And how
Yeesh.
much, how is he doing health-wise?
I gotta fix him soon.
I
Or
get
he
it.
needs to fix himself.
His wag is creaking a little bit now.
Ice is now standing kind of behind Hawk, to like the left. He's gonna run by Hawk, run by Brogan, and it seems like he's going after Zari, which would be the person he sees as commanding AAA. And as he's,
Do I get an attack of
you
opportunity as
do
they
if you
run
would
by
like to
me?
take one.
I didn't on the first one because I didn't know where he was going. But
Well,
now that I
he's
see
still
that,
within range to hit. So
but now that I see that the second one's definitely going after my friends, I would
Yeah.
like to make an attack of opportunity if that's allowed.
awesome, 100%.
All right, I will
Awesome.
go to unarmed strike because obviously I left the pimp cane at the desk, so I go to punch or kick. 21 to
Very
hit.
nice, as that definitely hits. And he goes to move out of your range, and you say no. That's 7. He takes 7 damage. Very nice.
I sweep the leg because Cobra Kai always sweeps the leg.
You know exactly. That's the one move you have to do. Never illegal in any competition, but always
I
sweep
mean,
the leg.
at Globo Gym, we're better than you, and we know it. So.
Sweep the leg, 100%. As you see, he gets kicked, and Ice is like, "What's the meaning of this? I thought we were bros, bro."
That's my dog, homie. Leave him alone. I would have
Sorry,
got it back
bro.
for you.
Again, bro. As he just has trouble. He's computing right now.
Oh, also because my strength was raised by 1, that's 8 damage and not 7. I don't know if that matters.
Yes,
But
that's
I
true.
gained 2 points of
No,
strength.
it
I'm actually
definitely,
18 strength right now.
definitely works. It definitely hits. That's great. And this is for the next hour. So Bronco is going to go run. He's going to be now standing next to you. Well, he's going to be standing next to Hawk, which is in front of you, in between AAA. It's like if you were to look from like where Zari's
It's
facing.
like a train. No, I gotcha.
Yeah, Zari's facing AAA, and then there's Hawk, and then there's you. And Bronco's going to go stand like right next to catty corner to you and Hawk, and attack at AAA. And here comes Bronco. And he is going to bite at AAA. 18 to hit
Yeah, that hits.
for 6.
Boy,
As
he's still
Free
up.
action? Leave my dog alone, guys. I'll get you the stuff back. You're pissing me off. And then I start like really like kind of like flexing and getting tight. I'm like, you're pissing me off. Because the drugs are getting all in my brain.
And as he's biting on metal, you can see he just looks up at you like, "Arr!" and just looks right up at you, trying to get a piece out of this dog, almost like a rabid uh, draconic foot soldier. As he just looks up, like he's got, he's about like 10 feet tall, huge shoulders, kind of long, kind of fat, almost toad-like neck into like the almost like a turtle-y style draconic face as he's just biting on this dog, which is irony because generally it's the dog who does the biting. But Zari is up.
I tell AAA to disengage and get over here.
There will possibly be an attack of opportunity.
So that's his action.
Well,
Disengage.
Oh, disengage. Does he get a disengage
is a
action?
full round. Yeah.
You can
I was
do
gonna
any
say.
action as long as I command it. So you can do the help action if I command help, or he can do the dodge action or disengage.
Oh, well, he can dash. Can he disengage? Yeah, he can disengage. You're right. 100%. My bad. Yep. I'm being silly. Yep.
Disengage, get over here, and I'm going to. Can I like store him away? Grab the thing and store him away.
I don't know. Like as part of your construct, can you store your construct? Can you?
I mean, I can resummon him and I can destroy him at any
So
point.
that would be putting you in possession now of the drugs. Correct?
Yes.
You can get rid of him if you want. If he's a summon and desummon, then yeah. Sure.
Basically, it's my magic create him. So,
Okay. And you would have to build him overnight or something along those lines, or what would be the
just take an action and just have to take an action and resummon him,
Okay,
basically.
cool. Then yeah, you can get rid of him completely.
So you just see AAA disappear into like a metal box.
And all that's left in his place is a bag of drugs.
Yeah, sorry, picks it up, puts it in his pocket.
It's just magical all of a sudden.
Oh man, magic drug dog. Oh.
Yeah. Brogan, you are up.
Okay, for my action, I'm going to look at. Let's see. You said who was it that moved between us?
Hawk
Bronco?
was between you guys. Yeah, and then Bronco is
Or was
right.
it-
Hawk was between
Well-
you guys, and
Since Bronco's the one that bit my dog, I'm gonna be like, my dog. I'm quoting. Obviously, I know it's Zari's dog, but my story, I'm still playing with these guys as it's my dog. So I'll look at Bronco and I'll be like, that's my fucking dog, and I'm gonna pop a flurry of blows and just go to give him a 1-2 punch and then a head kick.
very nice.
So let's see. Attack 1, attack 2, attack 3.
All right. So 1, 2, 3.
And they're all at +1 because my strength's 1 higher.
So that would be a
10,
10,
19,
a 12, and a 19. The 19 hits for -4.
-4. Oh, geez.
The 4 bludgeoning.
Oh,
Oh, it's
fair
+1
enough.
on that too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so that's
'Cause it's
-5.
plus.
Gotcha. So awesome. So he takes -5. Yeah, he has an AC of 14 as a natural armor.
Fair enough.
Almost like turtle-like kind of body, just hard turtle leather. I don't know how to describe it. I guess it would be
Yes, tether. The old
Yeah,
turtle leather.
exactly. Years of working out and performance-enhancing drugs has got him to a turtle leather skin. Any movement you'd like to take?
All I'm going to do is I think I'm going to place myself. Well, actually, no. What I can do is hold on. I totally forgot about this until this moment. I can use my a drunken technique that whenever I use flurry of blows, I gain the benefit of the disengage action, and my walking speed increases by 10. I am only going to use the disengage action so they can't hit me with drunken technique, and I'm going to stand between them and Zari.
Fantastic.
So I'm basically going to do like a little U, and then just be
Flip
in
around.
between them and Zari, and kind of doing the whole Tekken thing, like, hey, bro, that's not cool.
Very nice.
Back off.
As your jacket is flowing behind you, kind of an idea. No wind,
Exactly.
but it's flowing.
Oh, that's very broken. Loving it.
Steve, you are up.
All right, so as this kicks off, you guys see like Steve's face goes like flush red, like probably should be on like blood thinners, like that kind of flush red, like the alarming flush red, and a vein pops out of his head. He's going to use a bonus action to start raging. Pulls out his battle axe and rushes over. Hawk is still up, correct? Next to
Yeah.
Brogan.
Yep.
I'm gonna go after Hawk here, raging, use my speed to get over there and take a swing at him. So it is gonna be a D20 plus 5 to hit. Oh, 13 probably doesn't hit. Maybe.
Yeah, a 13 hits.
It hits?
Haha,
Yeah.
he's not a turtle.
Yep. He's not the turtle, he's the bugbear.
So this is 1d12 plus 5.
There we go.
7 damage.
Minus 7. Very nice.
I'm gonna look at Brogan and be like, I got your back, bro. I was 2-time men's slow pitch softball league home run champion.
Oh, slow pitch.
Oh, fantastic. As you say so, we hit the top of the order, and everyone looks around. You hear screams coming from outside the gym. They're getting louder and louder as it's getting darker and darker midday for some reason. You guys can't really see why from out there, but you hear people screaming, "Oh my God!" and looking into the sky and running as fast as they can down the street. Hawk looks over at Brogan, and he's about to take that morning star that you don't know where it came from, but it came from somewhere. And he's about to raise it, and he looks at you, and he looks outside, and he seems to pause a second. He looks over to Brogan. He goes, "Do you see what's going on out there?"
Can I speak as a free
Yeah,
action?
go for it.
If so, I'm like, yeah, it looks dark.
It's middle of the day.
Okay, so that's weird.
That's very weird. I'll tell you what. We can hold off a second right now. We can stop. We can just hold on. We'll all come back to these exact places. I just want to see what's going on out there.
I eye him warily, finish my coffee, and say, okay. And I crumple the cup up.
Between two bros, a bro agreement.
All right, we'll call it a showdown, bro down, and I'll go to throw him my knucks.
As you throw him the knucks, he puts out the knucks and he says, "Guys, we knucked on it. All right, we're good. Put down the weapons a second. Just remember where you were standing. Everything's been knucked. We're gonna go check out what's going on outside."
All right, it's over for now. I put a little quarter down on the floor. We'll come back.
Yep. Mark your spots, guys. We're at both feet too. Both feet.
Steve is gonna calmly grab the steroids off the floor and put them in his tool belt.
Do you put a quarter down for where they are?
Yeah. He said they ended up on the floor, Zari. I don't know if you actually have them or not, but
yeah, no, I would figure they would end up on the floor because if you were to desummon him, that means he would just leave, right, from where he's standing.
Yeah, no, I said I picked him up in the drugs.
Oh, then you would have them. Then you would have the drugs. So.
Fair enough. Either way, I still place like the copper piece down where I was standing. I'm like, hey, this is Brogan's space.
Yep. Yeah. Hey. All right, guys. Look, and all the bros look over at Zari and Steve and make sure that you are marking the spot you were just standing in.
I pull out my little. I've got like the little construction pencil out of my toolbox, and I'm marking on the floor.
Very nice. And Zari, do you mark the floor?
I'll pull out a copper piece and mark the floor.
Very nice. And as you mark the floor, they're like, "Okay, guys, whew." As they do a sigh of relief, they're like, "Ah, all right,
Everything's
we
good.
knocked on it."
All right, let's go outside and take a peek.
And as you start to walk outside, you see that it is getting even darker as you are walking outside. As you look towards the sky, as everyone out there is now looking towards the sky, you see people on the streets right in front of you, running and screaming in both directions. As now people are panicking all over the city. You start hearing people panicking all over the city. Horse-drawn carriages are going left and right. You see people on horses moving left and right. There seems to be something happening. And as you look straight up above you, it seems almost like a 2 to 3 mile long object. I would say like log form per se, or like kind of log form, or give me a perception check as you guys are looking.
Oh, with the plus 0. Crushing it.
Wow.
Crushing it.
Natural
Wow,
20. Steve!
Steve's on top of it today. Everything's coming up Steve today. Zari, don't you wish you were more like Steve?
Zari's the only one who's good at this, and she's like, I'm really focused on AAA right now because he's beat up. And Steve and I are like, bro, stuff in the sky looks cool.
Yeah. You you don't know what's happening up there. Zari, you're still looking around to be like, it's so dark, I don't get it. Brogan and Steve both see that there are bits of sunlight coming out from the sides of what they're looking up at, but it looks like it's miles and kilometers long of what would be a long cylindrical object. Steve, you're like, I know what that is. That's a branch. As you see a miles long, miles wide branch falling down out of the sky, looking like it's going to land and crush the whole city.
Oh.
Steve doesn't have a big comment for this. I'm going to tell them what it is, obviously, because I know I'm Steve. But
that's some aggressive wood. I don't know what to do with that.
Featherfall. I cast Featherfall on the branch.
You cast Featherfall and nothing happens. And as you're looking, you see that there's a mage sitting there running out, and he definitely was not in the gym. And he is running out to his horse. You see there's a horse and cart probably about 6 feet from where you're standing. And he looks at you all and says, "Don't just stand there staring at the sky. This city's about to be destroyed. We have to get out of here. Every last one of us. This city's about to go.
Nerd, fix this. You're a nerd.
I can't fix this. I need to get out." And you see, he goes, "I'll fix this." And he goes, "Haste!" And his horse all of a sudden goes, he just cast haste on his horse.
You could have cast group haste, nerd.
Steve is scared running at this point to where that guy's horse headed. Like all of his flab is just, you can tell he's going to be winded so fast. He's so afraid right now.
I'm gonna run over to Zari and be like, I hope this is all right. Throw her over my shoulder because with Step of the Wind and Drunken Technique, I'm a lot faster than most everyone else. And I'm like, we're going right now. I'm gonna take off.
Expeditious Retreat on him.
So you cast Expeditious Retreat on Brogan?
Yeah.
And he has Step of the Wind?
Oh God, I'm like 60 feet in front of Steve after like 3 seconds, and he's like, "What the hell?" I'm like straight NFL Combine 40ing this.
Yeah.
You guys go by Steve. Steve is officially 10 steps into this run, and he sounds like a fire siren. He's so out of breath already.
And Steve, as they're blowing by you right now, heading towards the North Ward to get out of this city, as you guys were in the northern section, one of the closest exits you would know would be towards the North Ward. Coming up along your side in this cart that is now going with this hasted horse is the mage. And he says, "Get in! I'll get you out of here! I'm collecting people." And you can see he's lifting someone up on the other side, and he looks back over to you, and you see the woman get in on the other side that he's just helped into the cart. And he hands out his arm to like, "Get in! I'm getting you out of here."
I'll hop in, like try to like jump in through the window of the cart, and like my legs are kind of sticking out, but I'm in kind of.
Very nice. And he's like, haste, 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 as he's yelling at the horse, just hitting it. And he's coming up upon Brogan and Zari. And you see the ass of Steve hanging out of the side of this cart as it's moving alongside of you.
We don't happen to run past PM, do we?
Yeah, you will actually. You will run past PM.
I'm like, PM, I know you're mobile. Get up. The parking space doesn't matter.
And you see a speeding ticket get printed right out of PM 207.
As I'm running, 'cause I'm
He
going
hands
so
it
fast,
directly to you.
I'm like, hurry up, PM.
As the speeding ticket flies out in the wind as you're moving with Zari on your shoulder, this mage is like, get in the cart, you fools! And do you move or do you keep running right by it? Because you're moving at the same speed pretty much as the horse and cart.
I'm just jogging alongside him. I'm like, no way! I'm so fast.
It sounds good. And as you and the horse,
You guys hear a woman screaming in the cart, and then realize it's actually Steve.
Yeah, but when you look over, you see the woman in the cart. Her mouth is shut, and the only other person in there is Steve and the mage.
It's Steve.
So I'm running, holding Zari. I go to push Steve's legs in the car because we're side by side. I'm like, get in the car, Steve.
Pushing his
Big
butt in.
idiot.
His legs are
His tool
flopping.
belt's like cocked. There's tools like just raining down.
I was gonna say there's like random screwdrivers and stuff. I'm stepping past. I'm like, God damn it, Steve.
As you're going, you hear the mage yelling, "This is impossible! This is impossible! This is I would never. Who would have?" As he's huffing and puffing, sounding.
You're not
like,
even running, nerd.
Yeah.
Just slap the horse. You're not even running.
He's like, but the history tells me. As he's
I don't know who history is, but you're still being a nerd. Zari, you doing okay back there?
It's just like,
Zari, yeah, you're just
What's
along for the
happening?
ride.
she kind of just got along for the ride. She's just like, we are probably going to die, but okay.
As you breach the outer city walls, you see people fleeing in every direction, and as you see the cart with this mage go up to the top of a hillside about a mile away, you guys are able to move, and as the horse slows down, you start, I would say, you start to see Steve actually flops out of the cart somewhat, and you are able to look back at you at the city as this large, what could only be described as a large tree branch, miles wide and miles long, much longer than it is wide, is falling from the sky. Larger, 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 larger. And as you look upon Waterdeep, you look at this whole city that has city walls around it, one of the largest metropolises in all of the Sword Coast. You all of a sudden hear in the back of your head, whew, from the mage, I think we're at a safe distance. I think we're far enough away. There's only the dust and aftershock we might have to deal with. I can help you guys, I promise. You see the Blackstaff Tower in the middle of the city. That would be slightly north of the castle district. The Blackstaff Tower all of a sudden starts glowing green. And as it glows green from the bottom, 10 feet up, 20 feet up, 30 feet up, 40 feet up, 50 feet up to 100 feet up, it glows green. And it shoots all of a sudden. This, in the distance, you're seeing the whole thing from the hillside, and it shoots this beam of energy that comes out green all the way at what this branch is. And as it comes up, it almost starts to mushroom at the top. And as this beam is coming up, this 100-foot long mage tower, and you see it starts to mushroom at the top, it just slows and stops this giant branch. And as it slows and stops the giant branch, the mage looks over at Steve and says, you know what that 100-foot mushroom kind of thing looks like?
A dick.
And the minute you say that, he goes, yeah, kind of, oh my God, no. Now you see all of a sudden this branch starts spinning. And as it's starting to spin left and right, the mage starts yelling, this can't be good, this can't be good, this can't be good, this can't be good. And all of a sudden you look.
I'm going to grab Steve and Zari and kind of move them behind the cart at least. It's not much protection, but it's something I'm like, let's look from through here.
100%. Yeah, like...
Steve is still screaming like a little girl. As
As this miles-long branch, it's the size literally of Waterdeep, pretty much, just a little bit longer than Waterdeep and about half as wide, starts spinning above the Blackstaff Mage's tower. And as it starts spinning more and more, you hear this mage yelling, "This can't be good, this can't be good. That's the Ashen Tree! That's the Ashen Tree! From the Tree of... Oh my god, it's coming right at us!" And the branch flings off from the Blackstaff Tower in your direction. And in the last couple of seconds, you hear the mage yelling what would be, "Brace yourselves!" And he starts yelling out the verbal components of a teleportation spell. And all of a sudden, you see coming at you in this last couple of seconds as a giant branch from what has been just described as the Ashen Tree, possibly the Tree of Life, has just came flying at you on this hillside. What would be going through your minds right before it strikes?
I fucking hate nerds.
I hate nerds. Sorry.
He's casting shield. She's like, up.
You cast shield. Steve?
Steve is crying. He's actually crying now. The scream has devolved, and it's just tears.
Don't worry, Steve. I can deflect arrows. It's just a big arrow.
Yeah.
I'm
You go
a
to
monk.
deflect missile. A 1.5 long missile by a mile wide.
I like to think that out of nowhere, Steve pulls out like an actual like construction hard hat.
Like a hard hat. In pimp,
Sorry,
and
puts her
sank
goggles
me.
down, like, uh-oh. As this branch comes flying at you all, you see it spinning. 3, 2, 1, impact, thud. Everything goes black. The last words you had heard were of two things. One was your internal monologues. The other was a teleportation spell from a wizard. And as you all open your eyes, you hear what would be a slight silence of nothingness. You're looking up above you to what would be a completely red and purple clouded sky as you see bolts of slight lightning shoot down through it. And then all of a sudden from the lightning hits maybe a floating rock that you see in the sky, and that floating rock turns into sunlight. And as that sunlight moves through the sky, it all of a sudden comes down and would hit a cloud that is purple, and you see rain fall right from it. And as you wake up on this rock, you go to stand up and feel you can't move a muscle. What's going through your brains at this moment?
Well, this can't be right. I'm yoked, especially after taking those drugs. So obviously we're dead. Fair enough. I lived a good life.
We did.
Steve is going to be patting himself, making sure he's still all whole.
You're all whole. Zari.
Zari's like, oh, I can't move. We're dead. That mage did not succeed.
The shield did not work. You did not catch the arrow, the projectile, and that hard hat did not do much. One thing that might have happened, roll me an intelligence check.
Oh, this will be sweet.
I mean, intelligence saving throw. My bad. Intelligence saving throw.
Oh, that's so much better. It's not.
And you're at a -2, Brogan, by the way, on your intelligence.
Oh yeah, so I got a 4.
You got a 4. Steve.
Steve, that's your third 20 this
Holy
session.
crap. Steve just pieced it together.
Steve starts mansplaining into these two.
Zari, awesome 19. And Steve,
I'm still going to explain
crit.
it to Zari like she has no idea what's going on.
As
Right?
you're
Like,
looking around, seeing pieces of dust that are flying through the air, and that all of a sudden, at times, they're all of a sudden just hitting the ground and turning to water. Zari and Steve, you're kind of on either side of each other. You look to the center of you, and you see what would be a fully cooked chicken wearing the same wizard hat that the wizard in Waterdeep was wearing.
Awesome.
And as you look around, you see where there is a cart in front of you, and where what was once the hasted horse, you now see a bouquet of flowers inside the reins of where the horse was. Zari and Steve, for some reason, somehow, some way, you all have just ended up in limbo.
As Brogan is looking around, I'm like, really? This is heaven? I got you two guys and a chicken?
Do I know
This
what
is
limbo
awful.
is?
Limbo, well, from your intelligence, we're going to say you know what limbo is. Limbo
do.
is the completely chaotic neutral plane of existence in all of the planes. It is not an elemental plane. It's like when you look at the different planes, like the Nine Hells, Hades, stuff like that. This is the 100% neutral chaotic. Everything is chaos here. There's not much that is not chaos. For instance, just because you go to step or to move doesn't mean you're going to move. You would have to literally hold concentration or make an intelligence to be able to move. So by your intelligence 20, Steve, your crit, you now control 20 feet around you. You not only are going to be able to, with your intelligence of 20, get up and move by thinking it, like you just came out as the most intelligent person, but your crit, you control 20 feet around you. You not only are going to be able to think yourself into movement, but you're picking up on this as you're there, like kind of a thing. You're going to be able to literally look at a rock in front of you and say, I would like that rock to be a chicken. And it's a chicken.
So as you guys are watching Steve, and this is dawning on Steve, like a nice flock of hair grows back on Steve's head, like starting at the back and comes forward, and he's got like flowing hair again. And you see like his man boobs shrink down and his stomach shrink down, and he's looking like he probably did in his 20s. And he's gonna say, "I don't know where we are, guys, but I like this place." And he'll grab a piece of the chicken.
Brogan is sitting here and he's like, this is definitely hell. This is definitely hell. This is awful. I don't know what's happening. I can't move.
You have to will yourself to move, Brogan.
What does that even mean? Brogan tries to think as hard as he can to stand up.
Can I turn the horse back into a horse?
You could if you'd like. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll make the horse a horse again.
Very nice.
I
As
will
all of a
turn this
sudden,
chicken back into the mage.
I
the
ate
part.
the mage. I'm
He just
sorry,
ate-
it
he just ate a
happened.
mage leg. Yeah, like he just had a thigh of mage.
I got an
Look,
11.
Look,
I got an
Steve doesn't
11
think
to
that
will
far
up.
ahead, Zari. You're gonna need to get used to this.
I got an 11 to will myself up, and since the chicken's cooked, I'm gonna have some.
I've got hair and less of a gut. You're never getting Steve to leave this place.
As Steve is clearly leading the pack on knowing what's going on here, this horse comes up. Now, this horse had just been hasted and ran through the city. This horse basically got sprinting steroids pumped through it, and it is now just laying on the ground, just panting at the moment, trying to catch its breath, as it had just been ran through the city.
So what is surrounding us? Is it
As
just
you're
like
surrounding,
an
so as you're starting to stand up and trying to coach Brogan into standing, and Brogan, it's taking some coaching from them, but you're finally getting how to actually stand on your feet. And with your 11 too, you're starting to pick it up. As you're around, you look around you, you see you're floating on what would be probably a 500 meter to 800 meter island kind of a thing. Close to almost a mile island kind of a thing. Well, what, 500 meters? That would be that would be half a mile or so, I think. So you got about a half-mile island, and you're floating through this, what would be almost this abyss, not abyss, but this floating through this area where, as you're standing up and looking around, you're seeing that these islands, much like you're standing on that are floating, are colliding with each other at times and some of them are melding into larger islands. And some of them are literally turning into like a school of doves that just flies away. Some of them are turning into, some of them all of a sudden turn into rivers. That things are just chaotically changing.
just pure chaos? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I remember the words that I heard the mage say right before we got sent here?
Oh, 100%. The words that it must be the tree of life, that it looks like it's from the tree of life.
No, not that. The spell that got us here.
You would remember, that it was a teleportation spell, kind of like a dimension door, kind of a thing. Yeah.
Can I try to cast that?
Chaos, you might.
You could try. I just don't think it would.
Can I make an Arcana
You
against
can
it?
make an Arcana. Go
Here
for
comes
it.
the 3 where Steve becomes a mouse.
Oh, whoops! I forgot I can't use that.
Jesus.
Oh my god!
A crit.
Clutch Steve with the
Rolling
crit.
a crit. I
With the
love
5
this.
everything.
You pick up that it was a dimension door that he was trying to cast. He was just so flustered and hurried that it ended up going wrong and dimension dooring you all to Limbo, as opposed to where he was hoping it would dimension door you to. You are not going to be able to cast it per se yourself.
You stop at a natural 20 says I can. This is the Chaos Realm.
I know, this is the Chaos Realm. You could try and make the components into existence by looking around, but again, it's like you don't... even conjuration magic here is off in a way.
Okay. That's, I mean, it's fair.
Like,
I understood you weren't going to let us get out that easy.
No.
I'm just saying, natural 20. I want to bank that.
Yeah,
As I'm-
100%.
as I'm eating-
You know it was a dimension door spell that he was trying to cast to save whoever was standing there, and he did save as many people as he could. It just clearly didn't work out the way he wanted it to.
As I'm eating more of the
Let's get
chicken,
another
I'm like,
rock.
this is what you get for being a fucking nerd.
Nerd.
Can I turn the
Nerds.
horse into a wizard?
You can, but it's not necessarily going to be arcane connected. Like you can
Okay,
turn
I'm
it
gonna-
into what looks
I'm gonna
like
try
a
it.
wizard. Yeah.
I mean, actually, no, I'm just going to make it so the horse can talk.
Yeah, for sure. And as the horse starts talking, he looks at you and he goes, "Woo, am I tired? Holy shit, that was a lot.
I want to ask him what his name is.
My name is Argyle. Argyle the horse."
Kyle. All right, Argyle. Well, we're in a little bit of a pickle here. I don't know how much you know about the chaos dimension, but we need to figure a way out. I suppose as a horse, you wouldn't have any advice for this, would you?
No, I know nothing about, and I know that nothing about dimensions, chaos, or I.
Mouth half full. Your mage is delicious. He's delicious.
Yeah, he was a real prick. So
Yeah.
I guess you got
No
what you
surprise.
deserved.
He's a nerd.
Well,
Argyle, I hate to press you into service, but I think we're gonna have to look around here a little bit and see if there's anything we can find of useful nature.
and as he looks around and says, "I don't know, will that guy know?" As he nudges his head as he's laying on his side, and he looks over on the horizon. And as you're looking further and you're starting to get your bearings of what you are, your immediate area is just flat, like red rock, kind of like picture being on the surface of Mars, kind of an idea. And as you look a little further off, and when we look into the sky, of course, it's like red and purple and clouds moving around and lightning bolts swirling, complete chaos going on with different islands moving. And as you look further off, you see what would be almost mechanical looking abandoned or temples in the distance. That would be to, like, if you were to look towards like where PM is, the horse kind of, while you were talking to the horse, you look past the horse towards what would be like temple area, and in between that, the distance where you can't really gauge the distance and where you are, you see what would be a large, what would be almost about 11, 12 feet tall, toad-like being standing there, complete red, long black claws. And the horse says, "Maybe he knows something about where we are."
Yeah, you should go ask him.
I'm not getting up for a little while. Come back
What
for
do you
me.
mean you're not getting up?
Come back for
I'm
me.
gonna give him all of his breath back so he's not out of breath anymore.
And as the breath fills his lungs, you hear him go, "Oh my God!" Oh, as he is getting overwhelmed by air. He's like, "What the hell of a day?" And as he stands up, he's like, "I'm not going to go talk to that guy. I was being coy a minute ago. He looks scary as shit."
That's fair. He does. I'm gonna help Brogan up and see if we can get Brogan moving around a little bit better.
Well, as I've been eating the chicken, you come over as I'm like finishing off on the mage, and I'm like, yeah, that guy looks like a real dick over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really want to do this either.
I've
This
got
sounds
like
pretty
my
terrible.
new big physique. I'm looking at Brogan and like I'll give like my hair a swish, like so it swishes, and I'll say, "Well, I feel like we should go talk to him."
All right, well, obviously you're the cutest one now, Steve, so I'll follow you.
I am the king of these lands, and don't you forget it. I'm gonna very confidently walk towards this giant robot frog.
And as you're walking towards this frog-like creature who's about it's completely red, about 10, 11 feet tall, long black claws, it looks at you, and it's got somewhat of aggression in its eyes. And as you look at the aggressions in its eyes, it doesn't say any. Do you what languages do you speak, Steve?
Steve speaks. Hold on, sorry, I just made this, so I got to. I'm not
Yeah,
quite
for sure.
familiar. I speak Luxodon, Dwarven, and Common.
Okay.
You know what? We're in the chaos. I speak whatever language this thing speaks, right? We're in the chaos zone, and I'm the king of the chaos zone.
Give me a quick intelligence saving throw on that.
Oh, you're gonna make me keep doing this. Come on,
There's
Steve.
another one.
Come on, Steve. Oh, a 9. I got a 9.
As you roll a 9, you hear him speak in a language you don't understand, but telepathically you get an idea in your head. And
Okay.
he says, "You all seem very, very lost. I would like you to come back to my dwelling, where we can keep you for safety."
We can keep you.
Inside check.
Could you go into detail about that a little bit?
I hear him say "we," and then I look at him looking at the big statue frog thing, and I'm like, "Yeah, this is definitely hell. I'm not having this. I'm not having." And then I'll immediately make an intelligence check to try to refill my flask and see if I can will that into being.
20.
Oh,
As you refill your
it's the
flask,
most quality
give me-
hooch ever.
As you refill your flask, give me a D100 also.
All
Uh-oh.
right, here we go. D100. I want it to be quality hooch.
No, it's gonna be Kool-Aid.
92.
92 is good. 92 is good.
Okay. It's quality. It's quality hooch, and all of a sudden you feel what would be the magic in your area as you're creating something. You can't tell when it's going to happen or when it's not. Is what you're kind of feeling, and you're getting the idea of, especially with your 20 intelligence, which is like your crit. It's probably what, an 18 intelligence. Your crit 18 because of your -2.
Yeah.
So your crit 18 that you're picking up is, you can't tell when it's going to happen or when it's not going to happen, but anytime you're going to create something, whether you're conjuring something or bringing something into existence in the chaos realm, there's a possible of a wild magic surge.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Well, I'm gonna take a sip of my new delicious hooch. And now that I've rolled so well on intelligence, I will understand what the giant toad robot said, and I'll be like, "What do you mean we? What is this we?"
And you now you almost understand completely primordial at this point for some reason, which is so weird because you've never understood I don't think you've understood primordial before, right?
Never. I speak Draconic and Common.
Yeah. So you all of a sudden understand primordial as he says, We Slad. We have home here. We have order. You come, we have you, guest.
What about our friend?
well-
And I'm gonna point at Argyle.
I'll look over and I'll be like, "They said guest. That sounds pretty good, right? That doesn't sound like food."
It doesn't sound like food.
As he goes, and you point over to Argyle, and he says, "Argyle horse, we eat him."
No, you don't need Argyle. Argyle friend.
Nah. If you come, he come.
But not eat.
Not eat.
All right. So Ryan
point
Reynolds
over at
Steve is going to
Zari,
lead
too.
Argyle
I
towards.
point over at
towards the front.
Zari too. I'm like, we also bring her. Zari. She is friend.
We not eat.
Yes, not eat.
We shake. And he puts his hand out to shake your hand, Steve. And it's a giant,
Yeah.
like you can tell, about a 12-foot like maw of a monster. or a 12-inch maw of a monster kind of a thing that he puts his
Do
hand
I
out.
still have like my weird chaos powers?
Possibly.
Yeah, my hand grows to the size of his, and I shake.
Very nice. And as you do, you can tell all of a sudden as you pull your hand back, there is a slight cut on your hand afterwards.
Oh,
He goes to
my perfect
shake,
physical physique.
yeah, and he goes to shake Brogan's hand. And he says, "You come, we take care of you." Shake?
No cut hand. As I
You come,
lean
we
my
shake.
hand out.
He's going to
Sure.
grab at your hand, and you're going to feel one of his fingers, one of the long, like 6-7 inch claws, come down and start to try and scratch your hand. Give me a sleight of hand really fast
Ooh.
to see if you are able to stop the scratch.
Maybe.
Yeah, a 15, you're able to get away.
All right. I don't let him scratch me, but I shake his hand.
Very nice. And you're able to maneuver it. It's almost like if someone's trying to like power grip your hand and you're trying to power grip back. That kind of dance you're doing with them as you're shaking.
Yeah.
I like it. And then Zari, he comes in to say, "We take care of you back at our home." Shake.
Can I try to make my hand metal?
What would make your hands metal?
Like chaos power.
Give me an intelligence saving throw.
I'm proficient in that. I can do it.
Big money, no whammy. We've seen a lot of 20s. Let's go.
A 7. You can still try to do it. Give me a try. As you go to give me a D100. A 38. At a 38, all of a sudden, you go to make your hand metal and shake his hand. Your hand does produce metal around it. It is something you're proficient with. But all of a sudden, you see around you spawns 5 what are called flumps. And if I'm to describe flumps, they're almost like floating Mentos that are about with eyes that are about like a foot to 2 feet wide that have tentacle arms that are just floating around.
I've seen these in Sonic the Hedgehog. These are serious.
Yeah. The thing is, though, everyone within, I believe there's a thing with them that within 15 feet, there's
Well, luckily Zari was back on the rock, and we walked over to him, so it should only be Zari and Argyle. Or sorry,
yeah, it'll
Argyle,
just be
you
Zari
were
and
a great
Argyle.
host.
With us.
So all of a sudden, you go to shake his hand, and within a 15-foot cone sprays a stench, a terrible stench, all over Zari and Argyle. Give me a dexterity saving throw, Zari. As these 5, give me 5, by the way, because they now sprout up within 10 feet of you.
Can I make one for Argyle as well?
Yeah. You want to give me some D20s for Argyle?
How many? Oh, never mind. It's all over with the first one.
Fantastic. Zari and Argyle are now covered in what would smell like a stench of a skunk. As they're just like literally like they have a mouth, they have these tentacle eyes that pop up, and all of these like 10 little tentacles that as they're just floating around, spraying this stench everywhere. As Zari gets covered, shaking his hand.
Can I try to change the smell using chaos magic at the risk of making this much worse than it already is?
You can.
I'm going to because I'm Steve.
Go, Super Steve.
Does he just back away and we don't even shake hands?
I got an 8.
An 8. All of a sudden, roll me another D100, as this is not going great.
Hey, you stop it. This could be going great. We don't know yet.
You never know. You're
51.
adjusting. 51. As you're adjusting to the chaos. It is. Oh wow. All of a sudden you get coated in a spectral shield as it smells like roses around Zari. Or what does it smell like?
It's gonna smell like Chanel number 5.
Chanel
both the horse
5,
and Zari.
Zari and this horse smell like they've just splashed Chanel number 5 all over them. As you
It's like straight up old lady at a thrift store, like that coating, that amount of coating.
Oh, it's perfect. And as you see this slod, like you're just covered in it. When it was terrible smell before, now it's even worse. And as you're smelling this, the slod looks over at you and says, "Follow me." And as he walks you into his slod camp, he walks you further and further, and about a quarter of a mile, you finally get to uh, what would be the temple area. And as he walks forward, you can see he looks like he's walking on water as he walks to the temple. And as you look in front of you, it doesn't even splash out that it's water. There seems to be a moat around it, but it seems that in the chaos plane, sometimes things aren't always what they seem. Like the water is easy, you can walk on it like it's solid rock sometimes. Sometimes water might be fire. You never know. And as you enter
Oh,
and you follow past him into this temple, he walks you into a room. And as you go into this room, you see he says, "You may sleep here. We shall bring you food. We will get you safety. Except time, we need to take care of you right now. This is your room and board. You look hurt. Take your time. Stay well." And as he opens the door, you see what would be curled in the corner slightly is what would be Bronco from the fight before. And as he's curled in the corner of this room, looking at you guys, he goes, "Oh my God! Oh my God, dude! Brogan, it's so good to see you. I can't believe you're here. I've been here for 2 months. They,
two
they've been
two
feeding me.
months.
They've been really nice. I can teach you everything about Limbo. Are you willing to hear about it? I can tell you everything."
I mean, you can tell me whatever you want, big guy, but I'm I'm still pretty sure this is hell.
Yeah, yeah. I thought it was hell too. But
I mean, look over at Steve. I mean, this is
I'm sitting
definitely
there having
hell.
a casual conversation.
yeah,
Like I am fully looking like Ryan Reynolds having a casual conversation
yeah.
with a horse
In
as
this
he's
land,
points over.
Steve is a god in this land. And as you look over, you see immediately that Bronco starts shivering. He's like, "Oh, Brogan, that's terrible. That's terrible. Look,
Yeah, exactly. This is definitely hell.
uh, I'll tell you, I haven't found a way out of here yet, but these Slod, they take care of you really well. So, uh, I can teach you all about this place, but it may take some time. Get some sleep, bro. Number one, most important thing to do for your body and your mind is get some sleep."
I'm gonna make a perception check
Sure.
on our wonderful Bronco. Does he look like he's been getting fattened up at all?
Go for it. Your perception,
Oh,
he looks like the same day you left is what your perception is telling you. Your one
all right.
perception. Whether that's good or bad, you don't know. When he says he's being fed, he doesn't look like he's lost weight to your perception. Zari, as you're looking on, you can tell it's an average. You can tell he's been fed. He is sweating a little more than usual. He says your perception picks up more that he says he's been here for 2 months. And Steve, as a god, a
16.
15, which was what, a
16. Yeah.
16.
Yeah.
Awesome. As a god, you're picking up on the idea. If he says he's been here for 2 months, he feels like he's been here for 2 months, and there might be something to his knowledge about what's going
I'll
on.
say, as I'm stroking the chin of my horse regally, I'll say, I think we should listen to him.
As you've walked the horse into this temple, and as you
Yeah,
look at this temple,
it's like in the room with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
and as you look at this temple, you can tell, Zari, this is a more interesting place for you than anyone else, because it seems like this has been built by beings of order, not chaos. This temple, it has gears everywhere. It has mechanical arms that no longer work and that have deteriorated over time. It looks like it once was a functioning machine of a temple at one point, but now has been left to the dust. And as you look around and you look out your window in your room in this dilapidated temple that's almost like these Slod are squatting here, these large toad-like beings. Um, as you're looking out your room, you see what would be in the distance a city a fully functioning city floating past a few floating islands. And as you look around, you almost see like a goat floating out the window. And then you see what would be like a airship all of a sudden turn into a goose as it flies. And then it turns into a fireball that fizzles in out. And you realize you are for sure not in Waterdeep anymore. And that is where we end our session today.
Yeah.
Very nice, guys.
I think it went well, guys. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Steve.
Whatever, God, Steve. I'm not hanging out with GS anymore.
I would like
Word.
to thank everyone. You all did a fantastic job with today's session. And I'm so excited to see what happens in this realm further. I'd like to thank everyone who viewed or is going to view or is viewing this currently on YouTube, on Twitch, or going to be listening on Spotify. Thank you all. Please like, follow, subscribe. This will keep us going for us. Anything for Nick, Kyle, or Brittany that you would like to say before we end it for the night?
Just anyone who was watching, thanks. We appreciate the support. If you have any comments or suggestions, let us know. We're always open to ideas.
Kyle, anything you want to plug, or Brittany?
I guess the only thing I would say is you gotta keep your eye out on this one. It's gonna get a whole lot weirder.
Yeah, it's gonna keep getting weirder. Good man. Hit us up on our Twitter, Adventure Highway. That's at the end of the highway. It's just WY instead of just spelt correctly. And hit it up. We'll keep you posted on what's going on. Check out our Discord. And thank you all for viewing. And we will see you next week on Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern for Adventure Highways. Sleuths in Limbo.